Okay, so if you're going to fill out a monitoring form, you want to know the site name. So in this case, I'm going to use Red Springs. And I don't have, and you don't necessarily need to remember what the trinomial is or the site number is. But if you have that, I have some stewards who are more about site numbers than they are names. They will put that in there. Today's date, I do have it so that on the PDF version, you can drop down and pick the thing, but you can also type it in. Now you put the names, so I'm going to put my name and Rayette's because she's here. And then I drove, we're going to say 2 miles because I'm still, and Red Springs is about 10-mile round trip from here. And it took me an hour. And Rayette lives 5 minutes from my house. So she drove 2 miles round trip, and she did about an hour as well because we rounded up. And the cost incurred was $10 or $12 for gas. Now, the agency, to be able to do this, you find the agency. Now, if you don't have it on here, like I said, it's on your site assignment form. It's also on the volunteer agreements we send you, but I'm always happy to tell you what it is if you don't remember, so don't worry about that. We're going to say this one, because it's Red Springs, is the BLM, and the district office, field office, area, or park means that it's the specific office that manages that specific land. And in this case, it's BLM, we call it SNB, so Southern Nevada Red Rock. But if all you write in here is Red Rock, you're fine. In a lot of cases, I can figure it out based on the site name, but I do have several sites that are named the same. And so I would like, so that's why I'm going to be like, if you call me and I can talk to you, sometimes I can figure it out because I know that you live in Northern Nevada, so you won't be go to a site in Southern Nevada or something like that, but definitely ask us. Okay, so the site we saw, let's say, had some graffiti next to the rock art. And actually, in this case, because there's a boardwalk there, somebody put graffiti on the boardwalk. And so we're going to say, is there looting, trash, dumping, none of these things? Digging, no, there's graffiti, grazing, anything like that. Collector's piles, paintball, damage, structural collapse, signage, none of that. Fencing, because it's going to be on the boardwalk, I would say that it was fencing. So there's a wooden boardwalk there with banister along the outside of it. Somebody put graffiti on that. So now, if it was something that I don't have listed here, let's say in this case, or I'm going to just give you an example. You could be something like fire retardant is on my site. You just check the box and you write fire retardant. Then what you do is in here is where you tell us what you saw. So I'm going to say that we had graffiti on the banister of the boardwalk near panel 3. So now I know what's there, where is it and what's it near, but we're also gonna have to say what kind of graffiti. So we're gonna say this is black pen graffiti. So
I always type a lot slower when people are watching me. I make lots of mistakes and I spell things wrong.
Yeah. So anyway, black pen graffiti on the banister of the boardwalk near panel 3. So now I know where it is on that boardwalk because that boardwalk's pretty big. I know what part it's on. I know what kind of graffiti, and I know all of that. So just checking the box graffiti and then checking the box fencing doesn't tell me that all that's information. So that writing it out and describing it to us is good. And then also having photos that go with it is important. And that way I can see whether the graffiti is all over the banister for 10 feet or if it's just somebody wrote their name on the banister. So it's really important. And actually, if it is, so we can actually say here, consists of a couple of names. And you can write out the names. Like if you want to, you can say Joe, Jan, Mike, stuff like that. And that way we know what we're looking for. And when the archaeologist knows when they go to read the report, what kind of stuff to expect. And then we'll say that there were impact photos taken on that day. Now, all of our forms are still going to have the original way to submit things, which is you can email your report and photos to this email address. I have not instituted, and it will take a while before we institute the new process and all of our paperwork. And the reason why is you guys are actually the test case. So you guys are going to try it out for a while. And then once we have a feeling that it works, then we can open it up to the rest of the stewardship program. But for right now, we're starting with the stewards who took this training. I can't see the questions. Were there any questions?
I'm not getting any questions. Okay, so I'm back on the website because I don't have the forms in front of me either. So I'm going to do the PDF form, that's the easiest. And, oh wait, I was on the monitoring report, not the photo logs. Hang on, just gonna hit back, photo logs, PDF. See how it opens right here? Do not fill it out right here because you'll lose everything. Go ahead and go over here and download it. It's gonna ask me where I want to download it to. I'm just gonna stick it on my desktop. I'm a desktop person and then I move stuff later. Okay, so here it is. And so what we're gonna wanna do is your site number, that's your trinomial if you have it, but for Red Springs we don't. I'm gonna put Red Springs in here. I'm gonna be the photographer. And we're gonna be doing this today. She has a down, see, it'll take it even if you don't use the drop. Okay, so on my camera, when I look at it, it'll tell me what number I'm at, and it'll be something weird like something like that. So go ahead and make sure that that name matches what your photo is going to be when you download it, because each photo is going to have a unique name. And I'm going to say that I just took my overview of site from parking lot. This has a boardwalk, so you'd want to, take an approach photo as you go. And I was just there the other day, so I know I'm facing somewhat southwest if I were to take that. And I'm not using a GPS because the site's small and I don't have one. Then I'm going to have another photo. And let's say this is going to be my impact photo, and it's going to be the overview of graffiti on banister. And it's going to be black marker with names. Let's say I'm going to be looking west. Then I'm going to want to take another photo. This is also an impact photo of close-up. And then I'll put the names, right, whatever it is, and then that'll still be west. So that's how you fill it out. Now, you can only do like one page at a time, but say you took 100 pictures, you're going to want to go ahead and do the page number like this. or something. Yeah, did that work? I don't know what that's doing. We'll find out because I'm going to save it. So now I'm going to file, save as. Remember, I'm a desktop person, and I'm just going to do Red Springs. I named it photo log because I work here and that's what I do all the time. And then I'll put the date. And then I'll put page 1 because I'm going to have page 2, page 3, and so forth because I have like 100 photos, for example. So then what I'm going to do is make sure that all my photos are together in a folder. And I'll name my folder Red Springs. I'll probably put the date on it. And then I'll make sure that I put that photo log. Oh, sorry. I still have it open. Save. Close. And I'm just going to pop that right in that folder. And then I'm going to put my pictures. That's not the picture, but in that folder. And then if you want to take it a step further, I would get online and go ahead and go to that DB gallery. I have different access, so you guys get a secret access look. And I would go into news. I would only be able to see this if I were you. And go in and drag and drop that information in there. So Samantha, which one would be new reports in?
Steward monitoring reports.
Okay, so I'd be in here. I would look here, Arrow Canyon still in there.
So you have to
create a new folder. And then, oh, go ahead.
No, that's what, so even if there's something already in there, you have to create a new folder in the new steward monitoring report because the other folder's for a different monitoring report.
Right. So I create my own folder, Red Springs Test. I'm going to upload. And I can, like we said, where we dragged and dropped, I could take these two things and drag and drop them in there. Now you get to see my pretty windmill photo. Or I can add files, look for that folder on my desktop that says Red Springs. Open, open, oh, select them, open, and they'll get added that way. So once you're ready to do that, of course, I just thought I might as well take it all the way through.